So why do we put ourselves on video sharing what we're doing? Why do I feel the need to put myself on video and share transparently? So I want to be, so what is transparency? You've all heard me going on about this all the time, and like what just happened a moment ago, it's kind of crazy for me. So for whatever reason, I don't know if any of you experiences out there, but we're going through waves of, not we, maybe we are not, you know, maybe this is just an individual thing. So I'm going through waves of observing when I'm in openness, in love, and in closure, which is fear. Open or closed. And through the journey that I've been on with meditation and observation and looking at the psyche and realizing that all of our thoughts, coming to this point where all of our thoughts and our feelings, even they're not true, right? They're stemmed and caught up and built from a foundation of fear. And then we habitually play out these familiar emotions and thoughts and behaviors for whatever reason. Everybody listening to this, everyone's got their own different opinion, you know. Everyone's got an opinion. As I say on many of my sharings, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. You know, it doesn't even matter if you think you know what is going on. You know, you have a bracket, a justification to put it in a box that makes you feel safe that you now know it. But even within that, there's limitation and delusion, because it's like, oh, it's this, it's the psyche, you know, you need this, you need to go and do this, you know, you're experiencing depression, or you're going through, you know, you've got OCD or ADHD, or you go to a doctor and you get told you need to see a psychiatrist, or, you know, all this, you know, oh, it's inner child work, oh, it's deep trauma work, it's family constellation work, you know, it's like, oh, it's wounds from past life, it's wounds from when you was younger, it's abandonment issues, it's like, you know, and everyone's playing around in this maze of many different things that it could be. But at the core, like for me, it's like, what the hell? It's just this full-on experience is happening here, life. But what am I talking about? You might say, okay, so in this closure, in a relationship, I'm in a relationship with Dara. Some of you might have met her if you're watching this. Some of you don't know her, but anyway, I'm in relationship. And in relationship, we call it the transformational workshop. It's a constant transformational workshop. It's constantly asking you, can you open? Like, can you open in the conflict? Can you open in the suffering? Can you open in the closure? Can you open in the anger, the frustration? Can you open? And we've been practicing this for many years, and at some point, you know, your ego, or you think you're getting good at it, you're getting good at something, whatever that means, right? You're getting good at being able to open or just be in a more elevated state of being, because you're aware that your thoughts and feelings are not who you are. Just because you have a thought and a feeling does not mean it's true. So you observe yourself as the witness, as the observer, and you witness this play going on, right? As Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage. You witness these personas playing out their roles, their characters, their behaviors, their stories, their dramas playing out, and you know, and it's linked in with all sorts of different aspects of what I call the pain body, you know, the emotional pain body, from, you know, anxiety and victim and, you know, unworthiness and little me playing out these stories. And all of it's a facade, all of it's just so false, the conversations. And then you look at even the things that these personas and personalities create and do, and it's like, what the hell is going on? And so in this silly little, it's never even been like this, it almost makes me feel like just all of a sudden in this, what I would call a dysfunctional relationship that you see and witness around the world in the collective, you know, this like being rude and disrespectful and angry and frustrated and just, you know, in conflict with self and other. You know, I can't say my THs. And then I just like left there, you know, I practice yoga and breath work and meditation, and this is why I want to be real with the transparency. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what stage you're at. Shit can hit you some days, you know. It can just worm its way in. The pain body can worm its way in. The last few weeks have been challenging, and then a few different people have been like spitting their negative way of living over towards me. Of course, that's for me to accept or not accept. And I'm like, wow. Let me just feel all of that, and at the same time notice that I'm not the feelings, but just to witness them moving in my body. So as I was driving here, I'm breathing, and I can feel this knot tight in the belly, and I'm like, wow. And then these like tears come up, and just observing it, not even associated to anything, just feeling and just breathing like. Just breathing through it. Coming here feeling a bit calmer and a bit more spacious. And during the whole time of this little conflict with Dara, she's in pain body, I'm in pain body, there's closure. Then the ego's trying to like break down who's in more closure or who said what or done what, like stupid little petty, immature bickering is the best way to fit. And listen, I'm saying this to you. We don't normally bicker, and then as I'm driving away, I'm thinking, how maybe we do bicker. Maybe there's something going on here that we're not noticing. And then you have all these flashes, don't you, right? You have these flashes of wanting to just get away, right? Wanting to run away. I don't know about you listening to this video, but sometimes for me, it's like just get away, run away, yeah? Like get away from whatever the thing is that's causing or seems to be causing the disruption. And of course, whatever the disruption is inside of yourself. So there's not even anything you can get away with, whether it's with Dara, whether it's with some random person, or it's because of some other thing that might come up. It's like, can I just stay zen and in my peace and in my equilibrium no matter what's going on? Can I stay equanimous no matter what is going on inside of me or outside of me? And it's like, wow, no, because if I'm not equanimous in me already, there's no way of staying equanimous when somebody else is breaking down and having a meltdown or angry and frustrated. It comes in and it grabs you. And even when you're observing it and you know that you're not it, you notice then, oh, I'm in the play now, I'm in it, I've acquiesced, I've said yes, I've gone with it. Do you relate to this? Do you understand what I'm like pointing to in terms of just the day-to-day behavioral personality traits that we adopt and take on through our belief systems and uphold as our identities, as Simon or whoever else is listening to this, or as a builder or as a worker or as a lawyer or as a judge, or you take on these identities and you take on the whole world that comes with them. And so we're working constantly at like just staying in and being more present and aware that we are not that we are not those personas, those identities, those familiar behaviors, those familiar patterns playing out. That is not who we are, or not who I am anyway. You may feel that you are those, and that's fine, but I know that they are a set of indoctrinated programs and systems playing out that I have agreed to at somewhere along my path, through society, through education, through parental, indoctrination and domestication, right? Just like we domesticate a dog, we've all been domesticated ourselves. So that's the dying process, and I'm just glad I record this just to show up and go, that's the work that's taking place, and you can't turn around. Once you have a glimpse and the feeling of the ecstasy and pure joy and the love and the inner peace that is possible, if you even get a taste of that, you can't. I was going to say you can't turn back, right? Because what is more of the authentic state, let's say, or the more true state, or the more whole state of being. And that's not to say you should never feel emotion and you should never ever get angry, or it's just to feel it and observe it, but not to project it and spit it onto somebody else. It's to take full responsibility. That's mine. And so sometimes I have to just get away. I have to just get into a space on my own. I have to just be on my own and breathe and sit and then cultivate the feelings through awareness that then take me beyond what I'm actually feeling, right? That beyond what I can label as a feeling or a thought. But using these tools, which probably can sound quite crazy the way I'm maybe describing this. It's like, oh yeah, I have thoughts and feelings, you don't have thoughts and feelings, you are the thoughts and feelings, you're not the thoughts and feelings. And then you get into a mind, a mind mess up, a mind trip, which many of us are in, and I am in, and have been in much more throughout my life in the past, very mental and, concept related, and still I'm playing with concepts. If you ain't feeling it, I wouldn't even be on this call doing this video. It wouldn't be happening if I wasn't caught up in fear and the concepts and illusions that are wired, wired within. That's the rewiring process taking place. So yeah, that's the transparency of what's alive. So what happened is I left. I couldn't even stay. I didn't even even in that moment of loving, knowing you love somebody, not even being able to even hold them in their own trigger, in their own victimization, in their own anger. I can't even hold them in that moment because I'm like, well, I just want to get away. And in that wanting to get away, there's like, I just see Dara crying there, with her daughter, and then just all this judgment, self-judgment comes in. What's the space you're creating for a child to grow up in? Because you're like creating this, the children grow up in the space between the guardians, the parents. And then it's like, then all these thoughts come in, like, why am I writing about this beautiful love and connection that I have? It's all, so beautiful and so pure and so real, and yet there's something in me so not wanting to even be in that. And noticing that the waves of that, it can be all this ecstasy and elation and beauty and joy and so much wisdom and understanding and this sense of a new way of relating, a real relationship in this new way that's birthing, that we can engage and relate, and then simultaneously just full on dysfunctional and just as violently communicating and closed as anybody in their most deepest domesticated violent way, right? Which you see, like the rate of domestic violence on our planet is rife. Yeah, it's something that I grew up in. I don't want to replicate. Yeah. So this for me is the transition, right? We are deconditioning. We're rewiring. All systems on the planet are rewiring on all levels, and we are going through that. And not many people are even conscious of that or even mindful that that's happening. Even when you might have a blow up or you get pulled out into some deep fear or depression or anxiety or whatever the diminishing thoughts and feelings are, to notice that, wow, okay, this is what's being experienced and witnessed, but this isn't who I am. This isn't my true nature, my true self. This isn't peace within and without. And then when you're in that diminishing state, nothing else, you can't, until you pull yourself out with awareness, you can't even, engage. You can't get things done or all of a sudden want to put something nice out into the world or create something beautiful for people or whatever. It's not possible because it's tarnished and created with that sense of closure and darkness. Even darkness, these words are just like so like limited and dark. It's not even about darkness or light or right or wrong or good and bad. It's none of that. It's even beyond that. All of those things get named and termed in that sense of reality, in that consensus reality. That's where you fall into. Then it is all about right, wrong, good, bad, shouldn't do that, should do this, that's violent, that's not violent. And that's a construct in itself that you've acquiesced and said yes to. To pull yourself out of that, even what I'm speaking about, becomes just another concept if it's not felt, it's not directly experienced. It's like experiencing beyond the experience you're experiencing beyond the experience. Wow. And it's noise, and I just come back to nothing, come back to space, come back to breath, come back to like none of that exists. It's like none of it exists. It's just stupidity on every form, manifested as from fear. And most of the love and most of the joy and what we perceive to be experiencing as so-called, good or whatever, is also just masquerade. It's fear masquerading as love. Talk in peace but not live in peace. Talk in love but not truly in the unconditional love. Soon instantly want to be angry at somebody else, or judge somebody else, or put them down, or condemn them, or presume that their life is not better than your life, or that they're not in some state than you are, and you just fall into a whole heap of separation. And I'm sharing this as I'm sharing it. I'm even hearing myself speaking this and going, observing myself speaking this and going, wow, isn't that interesting? That is the metamorphosis that's taking place across the planet right now. That is what we are going through. And it's happening in the parenting, and happening in our relationships and our friendships, and in our working environments, and in our physiology and our biology, and in our science and in spirituality. All of the systems, everything is being spun up in a washing machine, and you're either getting little waves of it, or you're influenced with it no matter what, because it's in the morphogenic field. It's across. It's in what's the word? It's impacting us even on subtle levels that we're not even aware of. And then if you're aware of it and you look into this stuff, you see what's actually happening, you can go, wow, man, this is going on. It's like, how can I open right now? What would normally the old state of being, how would that normally react? Yeah. And then how would this, this deconditioned from the past, this new being that's not a man, not a woman, but this new sense of evolved being, how would that function, right? It's like we're writing it in the moment. How do I open to this and feel that and cry and feel my tears and just go, okay, can I open to this? Can I not take it personally? Can I not assume? Can I not make it all about me? And go, what's actually happening here? Can I be that strong? Remember that beautiful poem called If? If all the world's falling around you, can I just be there among it all and just not react, but consciously respond? Not overreact and fall into some stupid, futile, childish conflict, but actually, how can I respond from openness? It might just be being quiet, just like quiet, just looking, just being. Fuck, man, it's I don't even swear very often. Sorry about that, but it's like, it's not easy rewiring yourself. And anybody that tells you it is not rewiring themselves. That's my take on it. And it's beautiful at the same time. And I have no regrets, and I would not change anything. I couldn't anyway, and I wouldn't. It's phenomenal. But when you look at the psyche, when you really contemplate and really look inside and start to observe what's happening and then why it's happening and how it's happening and why you believe what you believe and think that you think what you think, or think that you know what you think you know. It's all built up on a construct of you seeking safety to keep yourself safe in these little boxes of definition and confinement and limitation. And now this is who I am. This defines me, and I'll uphold myself and fight everybody and whatever they say different to who I am and what I believe. All belief is belief, BS, belief systems. There's actually nothing to say in this space. And I've just spoken for 20 minutes straight. But when I say this space that I'm pointing to, that we get to through venting this is what it is. Transparency is sometimes an opportunity to vent everything that's going on inside of you. Because when you vent it, you express it, the anger, the emotion, it doesn't matter. Then you express it and you don't have to spit it on somebody else. You move it, you dance it, you shake it, you get it out. And then the clarity can come from, it's like, wow, none of that. Heart, look, 99.9% of that is bollocks. Then the laughter can show itself. Then the love can go, laugh with you. Then God can laugh with you. Then you can laugh with God. Then you dissolve all the BS, the pain body, the lies, the deceit, the denial, the cacophony of facades made up. All made up. And if you listen this far, rock on. Leave a message in the transparency. Leave the message in the transparency. Leave a message in the comments. You're resonating, not resonating, think I'm loopy. Some people think I'm totally mental. Some people are going to start telling me, do you even contemplate that there's a moon in the world? It might be your opinion or not. If you listen to this video, you go out in the world, like, we're all trying to sell something. Sell this. Listen to me. Buy my concept. Buy my idea. No, none of that. Transparency is, can we show up transparently? Share what's going on inside of us. Let it come out and then allow the truth to arise uninvited. I ain't trying to sell you shit. You don't need to come and buy anything. This is about dissolving and metamorphosis into a new state of being. Transcending our old selves, dying every single moment, dying, so that we can actually be here truly and live and feel it all beyond feeling. Wow! Make love beyond feeling, beyond emotion. Powerful. And here I am, sat in a kebab house upstairs, looking out of a window at cars going by, a tree, people. This is my view. On a planet, revolving around space, in space. Houses being built, we're in space. We are space. 99.9% space. Here. Nothing. Here. Nothing. There's only laughter left after that. Transparency moments that we go through. If everybody showed up transparently, we'd start to maybe uncover some of the realness that's going on beneath it, beneath the noise. Love opens. No matter how deep my emotional pain body may want to come and live and spit and project and judge and condemn, love is stronger, and love will open every time. And in love there is no opposite. It's just softening, letting go, releasing, breath, being here now. Whoa. Space. Yeah, we get pulled off into many different directions, and most of the time, fear is driving the ship, driving the car, driving the choices, driving the behaviors, driving everything. And that's what I was in, again, today and the last week. In and out, in and out, in and out. What do you mean? The last 40 years. And more now having awareness that there is a difference. Not just going along, being pulled along in like a whirlwind or like what the hell's happening. Now it's like, oh, hold up. Some conscious choosing to be done here. Moment to moment. And no matter what, so far, the tool that's found the most support in my journey here, in this mysterious unfolding, is transparently sharing. Not just playing the superficial, I'm okay, it's all fine here, not bad, feeling good. None of those are feelings. Dropping into your deeper feelings enables you to move beyond them. What we feel, we heal. Then we move beyond them. Ciao. Day, whatever day it is, transparency, sharing, unfolding, vulnerable. Whenever I share like this afterwards as well, so feelings of vulnerability move through me, openness. And at the same time, like real, you know, you get these waves of fear and then the vulnerability and it moves and you're like, whoa, there's space. But it feels very naked, because the personas can't stay up in transparency. They don't know what the hell to do. They don't like this. They don't like this, man. They don't like this. You can feel the tears coming now. They don't like it. They don't like this. Because they don't know it. They don't know this space. Yet they try to hold on for dear life, causing a whole heap of fucking turmoil. They don't know, right? They can't survive here. It's so beautiful. Personas can't survive here. They don't exist. There's no personas, personalities, identities in love. It all washes away. Crazy, no? Like I'm holding this camera, filming myself in this to show what is required to soften, to move through the bullshit that's causing so much suffering out there. So much violent communication, so much fucking anger, so much spitting, so much separation, so much war, so much killing, futile killing, because of the fucked up personas. Men need to cry, women need to rage, we need to come together. Fucking age of reunion is this. Support one another. To feel it all and just move through it and watch it wash away into the ocean of love. This is not about some stupid positive sermon. This is not about some great way of delivering it in beautiful book form. It's raw and it's real. There's a war going on inside of us, just like there's a war, multiple wars going on outside. Futile. Pointless. People upholding stupid stories that they identify with because they attached a load of beliefs to and then argue with each other about it and fight about it. And my way's right, your way's right, my way's right, my way's right, and my way's right. You should listen to me and this is how it is, this is how it is. Shut the fuck up. enough no more to that aspect of ourselves. The pain body, enough no more. It's wanting love just like everybody else. Everybody in their own dysfunctional cry for connection and love is sending out a whole heap of bullshit. One wants to just say, I would want to connect. I want to connect. I want to love. I want to soften. I want to make love. I want to cultivate love. Not in these dysfunctional ways. Not with pornography. Not with violence. Not with suffering. Not with aggression. Not with judgment. People come to me, judging families constantly. Putting down, condemning our parents. Telling them they should change, telling them they're not good enough. These parents have done the best they can do with everything that we've all had to go through in our own unique way when we exist in this experience. Put down the armor, put down the condemning, put down the judgments, put down the separation. Put it down. I'm speaking to myself. If you're listening still to this video and it resonates on some level, you've switched this video on. Put it down. We can't transcend. We can't fully evolve co-creatively, collectively with the armor up. I can't. That's been proven to me. And all the systems in place, whether it be religion, marriage, any ism, spiritualism, veganism, phonism, man, clovism, I don't give a shit what ism it is. It's a form of separation that you're getting involved in to create some sort of safety, which is an illusionary safety. Drop the isms, drop the armor, drop the separation, unify, come together, soften, cry our eyes out, and see what arises. Let ourselves surrender and be guided by what is. Anyway. Man, I'm crying so much more in the last 2 months, man. Like for... It's so beautiful. You can witness this beauty because, I'm just crying. Because it's been so long out inside, I've been doing these naked retreats and every time cracking myself, going in there, you have to go after it, I did 10 days of 3 days of 3 hours a day of trying to cry. I couldn't cry. I did 3 hours a day of laughing, trying to laugh. I couldn't laugh, and I love laughing. And then I continued, and I continued, and I continued. Keep laughing, and then the tears come. The laughter brought the tears, and the tears bring the laughter, God, we got it. Imagine if someone comes up now. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at, man. This is where I'm at. This is beautiful. This is my sanctuary. This is my temple right now. And just holding me. This space is holding me. It took so long to get to these tears. You just do not know how long it took to get to these tears. And I'm happy to share them with you. I'm so happy to share these tears with you all. Whoever the hell is watching this, wherever you are, man, I'm so happy to share these tears with you. You know how many people have said to me in the years, you need to soften, Si, you need to soften, you're so militant. And then I was like, yeah, I hear that. Fuck, man, it's difficult. But the laughter. This video is crazy, man. I love it. When I cry, when I release my emotions, it's like a full on, it's the real life force, creative force moving through me. It's orgasmic in every way. I found myself just crying when I listen to people. People tell me things. It feels so beautiful. My heart is just cracking open and feeling. And the thing is when you start to feel, this is why it's so scary. I understand for people. When I support them to cry and I support them to open, and I know that we think we won't stop crying, or if we access our anger, we won't stop it. It's so vast, it's so angry that it will just, consume us. But it doesn't consume us, it moves. It's so beautiful. It's such a release, so phenomenal. The laughter and the tears are just, they're so connected. They're so beautiful. And men, if you're watching this, any men watching this, it's so cool, it's so beautiful to cry, brothers. Don't hold it back. I always say one life, right? One life. Don't hold back your tears. They need life. We're keeping them in, They want to come out and play. And our laughter wants to be heard. Our laughter wants to be heard. Our tears want to be seen. We don't need to hold this stuff in anymore. We're crying for whatever we're crying for. Just all of it. Just feel it. We're crying for everything. For everyone that's being wounded by the delusion, by the fear, by the violence, Crying for the children. Crying for the women that get acid put in their face just because they want to be free. Crying for the dogs that get stripped bare, their skin ripped off. Crying for the sex trafficking. Crying for the fucking abuse. Crying for my mum's abuse. She's endured so much. As many of your mums and parents have, and the men and women that go to war because they don't even know why they're going to war, to uphold some fucked up story about some fucking patriarchy of fucking country and flag. Rah! Fuck that. To sell some shit. To sell some shit. Fuck selling shit, guys. There's purification going on right now on this planet, you know. And I invite whoever's watched this video to like drop it, yeah? Drop the identities. We're here to purify and refine ourselves so we can create a different world. And we can do it. But we have to do it inside. Inside, you know? Not cover it up with all our stupid clothing and labels and professions. It's happening here. And this stuff happens on some of the retreats and workshops we do, but you've watched it. You've watched me share with you a level of transparency that is possible and happening, and people are doing all around the world, and maybe they're not capturing on video because they're not crazy like me and putting my fucking phone on to record this shit. And you see, I swear more when the release comes. It's like, yeah, just get it all out. Ah, man, it's... This is where we can meet. This is where we can reunite. This is where we can unify. This is where the connection happens. When we let down the armor and drop all of the stories and the BS, the belief systems. Let's not let our kids hold in their emotions and their feelings and, you know, suppress themselves. Let's lead by example. You know, in my mind, things flashing through, there's like nothing happening and something, and it was like, and then the thing that come in, I'm just so crazy, such a joker. It's like, now, if you want to buy my online course. It's crazy out here. Ah, so crazy. I think some people wanted to come up earlier and it's scared them off. Scared them off, can you imagine? Even this is not scary. Do I look scary? I'm just super grateful. I'm super grateful, that's what I am. Because much of what I've put out in the last even 10 years that I've, you know, had my epiphanies and my realizations, you know, so much of it just masqueraded with fear, so much of it so limited and restricted and so like one foot one side, one the other. But I've just persisted. And now I'm able to access a more soft, spacious, authentic place. And I just will continue. Oh. Sometimes some of you hear me talk about getting high on truth and not needing drugs and alcohol and ecstasy and MDMA and cocaine or anything else. This is what I'm talking about. Letting the breath support me. I breathed on the way here big time after the conflict. And the breath supported me, it still does. I love whoever's watched this, because if you've watched it this far and you've journeyed with me and I've been able to share this, and maybe it's supported you, maybe it just whatever. Think what you think, feel what you feel. Transparency is the only way for me right now. And even that can fall away.